pilot killed in a plane crash in the British Virgin Islands. And in sport, Barbadian fast bowler Jofra Archer gives Sussex the edge in their final day of their county championship clash. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Thursday, July 19. I'll be back with the details in just a moment.
This hurricane tip comes to you compliments the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and the Caribbean Media Corporation. Be prepared. Clear roads and clean up debris from surrounding areas.
Rossi was the early race leader. He controlled the pace just about all day. He really pulled away with 30 laps left on his two-stop strategy. But Ryan Hunter-Reay was flying again on a three-stop plan. His final stop coming with 17 to go, setting up a straight fight to the finish. Hunter-Reay amazing in the late stages, chopping into Rossi's lead until trouble for the pole sitter. Rossi off with a tire problem. Hunter-Reay cashes in his first win of the year, ending a 42-race winless streak.
The body of a pilot was pulled from the waters off Terence B. Lettsome International Airport yesterday afternoon after his plane crashed in the sea during takeoff. The pilot, whose name has not been disclosed, was the only person on board when the plane overran the runway and ended up in the sea near Trellis Bay. Virgin Islands search and rescue member Phil Aspinall said police information suggested the pilot was an Angolan national with a United States passport. The plane had been heading to the main international airport in Guadeloupe. The Virgin Islands search and rescue team said when they were not notified about the crash by the U.S. Coast Guard and they arrived at the scene, they found the Cessna C-150 in the water near the end of the runway. The pilot had already been pulled from the wreckage, but he subsequently died. The airport was closed to facilitate the recovery effort. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the state of public emergency in St. James is not only reducing crime in that parish, but has resulted in a downward trend in the daily murder rate. There were 51 murders in the St. James Police Division for the period January 1 to July 7th, representing a 67% decrease when compared to the corresponding period last year. And Holness said that from the point of the declaration of the state of emergency on January 18, the average daily murders have fallen from 4.65 to 3.44 nationally. On Tuesday, the House of Representatives passed a resolution extending the measures until November 1. Meantime, Holness said the security forces are going after more wanted persons and financiers and main facilitators of crimes. Guyana's Minister of Public Security, Kemraj Ramjatan, says government is committed to providing the necessary resources to the local anti-trafficking organization and working with international partners to bring an end to human trafficking. He made a declaration yesterday at the opening of a two-day training in trafficking in persons for the cause of wardens attached to the Ministry of Natural Resources.
Some do it for body parts, which is the worst extreme. Some do it for labor practices, some for sexual exploitation and all of that. But it is still slavery, it is still repugnant and appalling. We don't want that to happen to our mothers and sisters, do we? So then we must not allow it to happen to other people's children.
Minister Ramjatan opened a two-day training course in trafficking in persons for the Corps of Wardens attached to the Ministry of Natural Resources. He urged the participants to never compromise on the principles of law, even if the perpetrators are their relatives and friends. The minister said it is important that everything is done to ensure the recently achieved Tier 1 status is maintained and sustained for a long time.
When we took government, we were in what is called a Tier 2 watch list, which is right down there in relation to trafficking in humans. Because of the work the ministry and other ministries and members of the task force that we formed have done, it has helped us now from Tier 3, which is watch list Tier 2, We then improved to watch list 2, and today we are tier 1.
Grenada's Foreign Affairs Minister Peter David says the island is among regional countries continuing to campaign for Canada to lift visa restrictions. His comments come as Canada prepares to impose more stringent visa policies. The new requirement to be implemented in December mandates that all Caribbean citizens must travel to Trinidad to receive their visas rather than mailing their documents. David was speaking during a sitting of the House of Representatives yesterday.
Said to the Canadian government that we believe that is a step in a wrong direction in terms of the relations between Canada and CARICOM. And I make a public statement so that the Canadian government understands that this is a matter that concerns our people. Now imagine a family of 3 goes to Trinidad, as it's the same situation with Barbados, and we have said the same thing to the U.S. government. You go, you raise your money, you go to Trinidad, you raise $10,000 and they tell you can't get a visa. Imagine the devastating impact that has on the finances of our people.
Stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. For the second straight day, Barbadian fast bowler Jofra Archer struck twice late in this final session to hand Sussex the edge heading into a tense final day of their county championship clash against Gloucestershire. The 23-year-old removed both openers cheaply to finish with 2 for 14 from 8 overs as the hosts set 276 for victory at College Ground ended Wednesday's Day 3 tottering on 30 for 2. Captain Chris Dent was the first casualty of the innings caught at the wicket before first innings century maker 22-year-old Miles Hammond, who made 11, followed in Archer's next over, also caught behind. Right-hander Harry Finch then fell just short of his 4th first-class 100 with 98 as Sussex was bowled out a second time for 295. Luke Wright slammed 48 from 55 deliveries, putting on 81 for the 3rd wicket, with Finch, who then put on 61 for the 5th wicket with captain Ben Brown. South African David Weiss chipped in with 40 down the order, while Barbados-born England all-rounder Chris Jordan added 31. And switching sports now, Guyana is expecting a good showing from its athletes at the CSC Games in Barranquilla, Colombia. Isan Griffith tells us more.
Will be represented by 10 sport disciplines at the CSC Games. The largest will come from hockey and rugby. Boxing coach Terence Poole expressed confidence in his 2 boxers, Kevin Ollicock and Colin Lewis.
One of our 2 boxers who qualify from the qualifier, Colin Lewis, 64 kilograms, and Kevin Ollicock, 56 kilograms. For now, the most I would say for boxing, they are training, and we expect to do their best come. I don't want to say much because winning right now is not a priority in Guyana sports.
And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.